Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I am teaching you what to do if you constantly feel negatively about your goals. If goal setting and goal achievement is something that you feel like, ugh, I have to do this and I hate it. How do we start feeling more positively about our goals? How do we bring a sense of joy back? How do we get that spark back when we are dealing with productivity? I'm teaching this in this video. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that, give this video a huge thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So I often burn out and sometimes I feel negatively about my goals, and I look at my goals list and I have no inspiration and I think, ugh, why did I even set these goals? I don't even want to do them. Like, I'm in a slump. I am feeling like just meh. How do we get out of this? Okay, the first thing that I want you to do is to remind yourself of why, okay? Go right back to the root of it, and not to sound like a broken record because I talk about this all the time, but I have a vision board and I've made the vision board the background, like my lock screen for my laptop and home screen as well. So every time I turn on my laptop, I'm reminded of why, okay? Why I have the goals I have and why I'm working towards them. And I have like a visual reminder of, you know, there's this goal and this goal and this goal, and wouldn't it be awesome if we achieved them, okay? So remind yourself of why. And you can have any reason why you want to achieve a goal. I don't know, maybe you want to make life better for your partner or your family or yourself, or you want to see a certain place, or you want to get stronger physically, maybe you're working out, or you want to be healthier, so you learn to cook, or maybe you want to be more social, so you go and, I don't know, you join like a rock climbing club or a chess club or something. Remind yourself of why. Why are you doing this? What do you want it to add to your life? Do you want it to make you more social, healthier, happier in some way, more financially stable, okay? So what's the why? What drove you to set this goal in the first place? Return to the root cause of that, okay? Return to the mindset that you were in when you first thought, hey, this would be an awesome goal, and you started to pursue it. So remind yourself of why. Just have a brainstorm. If you can't remember the original reason, maybe go back to your notes at the time, or just maybe think about why other people might want to achieve this goal, okay? So what's your why? And there can be several whys, okay? It doesn't have to be just one big all-encompassing why. It could be multiple reasons, okay? So for example, now I'm struggling to think of an example, damn. Oh, okay, travel. Let's talk about travel. I've been talking about travel a lot recently. A lot of the reason that I wanted to go to a lot of countries was firstly to see them and to experience a wide variety of cultures, but also I wanted to prove to myself that, you know, I had the capacity to solo travel, like I could do logistics and I could budget for it and I could think on my feet, and it's really improved my confidence. So across the board, lots of reasons. Find your why again. Number two, I want you to remind yourself of your current work and how it contributes to your vision, okay? So what have you achieved recently towards this goal? And where does it fit into the overall bigger picture? I think sometimes when we are thinking a lot about our goals, we tend to over-focus, okay? And we tend to just work away on this tiny little aspect, you know, one step at a time, and that's completely valid. But sometimes we zoom in too far and we lose sight of what it's all for. And again, this does kind of come back to what I was saying in the first point about refinding your why. But remind yourself of how your current work fits into the bigger picture. So for example, something I've recently been trying to do is I've had a step goal for every day because I've been trying to treat my body better and just make myself into a healthier person who incorporates movement into their day as part of, like, as a matter of course, okay? So every time I'm, you know, I'm like at 90% of my step goal, I'm like, you know, what am I doing this for? Why don't I just stop? I'll zoom out and I'll look at my sort of my month overall, and I'll say to myself, look, this is how many steps you've got this month and you are so close to your overall target. Come on, just that last 10%, let's do it. So remind yourself of your current work and how it contributes to your vision. Number three, if it doesn't add to your vision, get rid of it, okay? If you are working on a goal and you feel really negatively about it and you actually reflect and you realize that the small part that you're working on, this step, is like unnecessary, or you don't need it anymore, or it doesn't contribute to your vision, then get rid of it, okay? There is no shame. In fact, it's actually productive to get rid of steps that don't contribute to your goal because you're saving yourself time. If you're working on something irrelevant, then you're wasting time, okay? So if you actually review that and you think to yourself, oh, you realize that this is actually not relevant, you can get rid of it, okay? Guilt-free. And actually, it's probably going to help you. So if it doesn't add to your vision, get rid of it. Gone, okay? Number 4, bit of a left turn into mental health talk here, so quick warning for that, but maybe you have depression, okay? I say this as someone who has chronic depression, so I do feel like I can kind of speak on this from experience. It gets better in the summer because I have seasonal depression in the winter, which kind of gives me double depression because I have the regular kind as well. Anyway, maybe you have depression, okay? Because when I'm in a depressive episode, and I've made other videos about this, so if you want to find that out, go and check out those videos on like my chronic depression and how I've dealt with it. But yeah, maybe you have depression. When I'm in a depressive episode, and these are more common in the winter, but sometimes I get depressive episodes at any time of year because obviously seasonal depression, yes, but regular depression, also yes. Maybe you have depression, and I feel much more negatively about my goals when I'm in one of those episodes, okay? So give yourself a little grace. You can obviously go to therapy. I've been in therapy on and off for 5 years. It's really helped me. I also journal a lot. I listen to music. Exercise has been really helping me. Sleep, the basics. I know sometimes it's really difficult to do the basics, especially when you're so depressed that you can't get out of bed. I went off on a rant there. Anyway, maybe you have depression, and when you're in a depressive episode, you know, obviously reach out for professional help if you can, but also give yourself some grace because it's difficult to work on productivity when you are depressed, and being depressed is a roadblock, okay? And I totally recognize that, and that's why I've made so many videos on mental health, because I need you to recognize that you're not alone. And it's one thing for someone who's perfectly mentally healthy to have goals and to achieve them, and it's amazing, but it is to an extent even more impressive if someone has a bunch of obstacles to overcome before they can even get to those goals, okay? So give yourself some grace, please. Maybe you have depression if you constantly think negatively about your goals. Another thing, are you living for other people or for yourself? A big realization that I had in 2024 was that I was, to a large extent, living for other people rather than myself. And this was kind of an unpleasant realization because I thought that I was putting so much effort into my goals, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Like, what are these things all for? And a lot of the things I was doing at the time that were taking up a lot of my time, I realized were just a product of my people pleasing. So are you living for other people or yourself? It's a really important question to ask. And sometimes it can be really sneaky because you think that you're doing something for yourself, and then you look deeper into the root causes of it and you realize that you're actually doing it because you want to impress someone, or just because you don't want to feel left out, or there's some kind of external influence that's pushing you to do this thing that maybe you don't even want to really do, okay? So are you living for other people or yourself? Because if you're living for yourself, it's likely that you'll have a lot more intrinsic motivation towards your goals. And if you're living for other people, you might feel a sense of resentment towards your goals, like they've been imposed on you, like, oh, I have to do this thing because other people said so, or other people are doing this, and if I don't, then, but I really don't want to, and it's making me feel like it's grinding my gears, I don't want to do this goal. So if you're feeling negatively about your goals, are they really your goals? Something to think about. And finally, set an end date. Sometimes we feel negatively about our goals because it feels like there's no end in sight, okay? Milestones can be very helpful for this. You might say, okay, at this date, I'm 25% of the way through. At this date, I'm 50% of the way through. And you just need to set an end date, okay? You need to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because sometimes with long goals, my degree was an example. Like, I had a countdown document to my graduation date. I can't even lie. Like, I was very burned out for the second half of my degree, and some days I was just counting down. And it's not that I didn't enjoy my degree or that I wasn't academically or professionally fulfilled by it, because I was, but I just wanted to do my absolute best, and I could feel my like battery kind of draining as I got closer to the completion date. So set an end date if you can. If you have like an overall like end date, a target, instead of making your goals open-ended, give yourself a deadline. I know deadlines can be scary, but they don't have to be. In fact, I've made a video on how to use deadlines to your advantage, so if you want to, go and check that out. But please set an end date. It will help you feel more positively about your goals. Like, for example, when I'm working out and I'm in like the final, I don't know, minute or so of an exercise, I automatically push myself harder because I know it's about to end. And so I'm like, oh, you know, I can do this. I've got this. I'm just going to push a little bit harder for those last, 30 seconds. Okay? Set an end date. All right, that's what to do if you constantly feel negatively about your goals. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram. I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.